Okay. Call the regular meeting for October 12th, 2021 to order. The time is 6:30. Everybody please rise for a moment of silence. Follow the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, I got a couple items of order here for you. On the consent agenda, if we can please skip financial reports. For September 2021, we're going to bring that up at the next regular meeting. Susan is not able to be here tonight. And then we're gonna move discussion items. If we can move that to the last item on the agenda, due to the potential of us needing to go into executive session on that. And then under new business, if we can take care of item 6 first, because we have 2 guests here tonight, just to appease their presence and get them in and out.
Okay, so first item is consent agenda. Reading of the minutes of previous meetings. July 20th, 2021, special meeting budget workshop. August 10th, 2021, regular meeting budget workshop. August 17th, 2021, regular or special public hearing meeting. September 7th, 2021, work session meeting. September 14th, 2021, regular meeting, and September 28th, 2021, regular special meeting.
I'll make a motion, we approve consent agenda A as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Would you poll the council?
Place 1.
Aye.
Place 2.
Aye.
Place 3.
Aye.
Place 4.
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Are we doing citizens comments right now, Craig?
We don't have any tonight, Mayor.
Okay. So we'll drop down to new business, item 1. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. We're going to go down to number 6, approve potential nominations to the Tarrant County Appraisal District Board of Directors, item 22014. And we have Gary Lasada, which is currently serving and looking to be renominated. And then we have Rocky Gilly from Kennedale that's looking for a nomination. So if the gentleman would like to come up and
Would have been nice to have before now.
we'll tell you about it later. What happened?
Okay, my name is Gary Lasada. I live at 802 Dove Creek Trail, South Lake, Texas. Almost 2 years ago, the then city council voted for me for the Tarrant Appraisal District Board of Directors. So obviously they didn't like me very much because I won, and I'm back here for more. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background. First of all, you do have a copy of my resume. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I want to give you a little background of sort of what's gone on. Typically, when I speak before councils or school boards, it's under the public comment section and there's no exchange. And in this particular situation, you can feel free to ask any questions. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. My first meeting was in January of 2020. And when I first walked in, I was sort of appalled as to what I didn't see, not so much as what I did see. There was no American flag. There was no Texas flag. There was no Pledge of Allegiance. There was no invocation. There was no recognition of the tenets that we as Texans and Americans cherish so much. By the second meeting, they were there. And I'm happy to tell you that there's been a lot of progress in that regard. And also, let me say this, as a current member, I'm not trying to grasp all of the credit for this. Takes a vote of 3 people to make these things happen. So I have another person that sits on the board with me that thinks in a like manner, and also a third person that from time to time does think in our like manner, but we do get things accomplished. Now, let me give you a couple of other things that have been accomplished in the last 2 years. Meetings are now publicly broadcast. Back then, When we first were on the board, the meetings were not publicly broadcast, and you had to actually go in and file a request to get a copy of the meeting or an audio of the meeting. They are now publicly broadcast. Board packets are available to the public online. Agendas are available to the public online. This is very critical to a community that as widespread as Tarrant County. And so it's important that people have an opportunity to know what's going on. In 2019, we had a residual budget of unspent funds of $825,000 from TAD itself. We refunded that back to the taxing entities. In 2020, we had $1,250,000. And again, we refunded that excess back to the taxing communities. Don't know how many times that's been done before, but there's no reason to spend money just for the sake of spending money. It's your money, it's your taxes. Another thing that we did, which was very critical, is that we established a policy that all billing agreements and or contracts in excess of $50,000 had to come to the board of directors for approval prior to issuance. That wasn't done in the past. And I don't want to get into airing a lot of dirty laundry, but that does give an opportunity for abuse. That does not occur anymore. We had our first comprehensive workshop this past June since 2016. I'm sure you go through that with your staff from time each year. And it's important to have that opportunity to see what's really going on and what's projected to happen over the next year and let the input of the community be heard. I think we've changed the entire atmosphere at TAD. It is more responsive, it is more community oriented, and it certainly is more transparent. I think that's an important part. There are a lot of other things I could go into and talk to you about, but I don't want to bore you with all of that. I do want to explain to you a little bit about how this works. Tonight is strictly a nomination. And there's another gentleman here that's going to be speaking to you in a minute that's running. I would like to have your vote also. And I would like to explain to you that we are not in competition. Okay, it would be complimentary if he were nominated by you also. So I'll take that right off the table right now. If there's anybody wondering if we're competing against one another, we are not. The second part after the nomination process is the actual vote. So after the chief appraiser certifies those that have been nominated for the positions at TAD, then he will then send that nomination list back to you as an entity, and then you'll have an opportunity to vote on those names, and that will be until the I think the 15th of December. So you'll have a little bit more time, the more lead time that you've had this time. And I think it's important that you carefully consider who will represent you. It matters not to me whether I get 5 votes or 500 votes. I represent every entity equally. And I don't believe that just because one of the entities, or 4 of them, I should say, are larger than others, that they should dominate every other city or any other entity in Tarrant County. So my point to you on that is that if you should nominate me, and then you should vote for me, I want you to rest assured that I will represent you equally with your 5 votes, even though there may be 500 votes from another entity. So that's all I had to say right now. I'd like to open it up to questions. I don't get this opportunity very often. It's usually one way where I just comment and then I go away. But now you can take your shots if you'd like to and ask any questions that may be on your mind.
I just have one. Why did you come to Everman? Are you going to all cities?
I'm not going to all cities.
Oh, okay.
That's a good point. Everman, that's a great question. Everman is one of the smaller entities, and it is in the depths of my heart to represent the small guys just as well as the big guys. And so Everman having only 5 votes is just as important to me as it would be if I speak to the city of Fort Worth, which I will not do. And I won't speak in front of the larger entities because they've already made their mind up as who they're going to have represent them to try to have their entity represented. And anyway, I hope that answers your question. I don't want to go too much further, but I could.
Any questions for Gary Lasada?
No, I appreciate someone that looks out for the small communities.
I've always been like that. I was just telling Rocky, who'll speak to you in a minute, I spoke in front of the city council of Grand Prairie a couple of years ago, and they said, well, you don't live in Grand Prairie. I said, well, I lived here for 14 years. And I said, I can tell you things about Grand Prairie you don't even know about. And they go, what do you mean? I said, well, I used to hunt rattlesnakes and dove hunt in what is now called Joe Pool Lake. And they all just sort of started cracking up and saying, wow, you have been around. And I'm pretty old too. That's the other part. So if you do have a question after, I'll hang around for a little bit and I'll be glad to answer any of those.
Well, they got your contact information here too, so
Thank you.
I tried to get that blocked out. No, I'm kidding. Thank you.
Thank you.
you want to come up, Rocky? This is Rocky Gilly from Kennedale.
Hello there. My name is Rocky Gilly. I live at 220 South Dick Price Road, Kennedale, Texas. Your neighbor to the east. So what interests me in throwing my hat in the ring for the Tarrant County Director position is that everyone, every city, every citizen, every taxing entity, I believe, is owed an accurate, efficient, certified tax roll. And you need to get your information, when you get your information to prepare your budget, it needs to be as accurate as possible. And I experienced some issues with that during my tenure as a Kennedale City Councilman. I was a city councilman in Kennedale for 2 years, and I know how important that is. And to build on what Mr. Lasada said, I would like to help him go forward with these reforms that have been started on the TAD board and continue those. And also, like him, every city, every citizen, every taxing entity, no matter how small, deserves a place at the table. My family's lived in this area about 145 years. My great-great-grandmother was actually born in Everman before it was Everman. So I feel like, I'm your neighbor. I know the issues that you deal with, and I will be there for everybody. Recently retired. I apologize. You do have a copy of my resume, I hope?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I had to whip that out in about 10 minutes. I retired and I thought I'd never have to have a resume again. But anyway, so I had to recreate one really fast. I worked in IT for over 40 years. My first job in information technology was at Gerhard Owen right down the road here. And I think that's also maybe something that I bring to it is a little background in that area. The other thing, even though I've been a city councilman before and I serve on the TERS board in Kennedale, I was chairman of the TERS board for a few years. I'm not politically aligned with anyone. I'm here. I'm a regular guy, not really a politician, worked all my life. And I like to see, want to do my part to see that the citizens and the cities and all the other taxing entities get a fair shake. And if you have any questions to ask me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Have any questions?
No,
No.
Good.
All right. And y'all got my contact information too? Call me anytime. I'm bored now that I'm retired.
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Okay, so both these gentlemen are looking for nominations to be added to the TAD board. Do we have a nomination? Or do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. We nominate both of them to the TAD board.
Do we need their names?
Yes, we'll need the
All right,
name.
okay, I'll make a motion. We nominate Rocky Gilly. I'm bad
Gary
about
Gary
names.
Lasada.
Well, I lost the paper.
Gary Lasada.
Gary Lasada. Sorry. To the
Second.
TAD board.
Second.
It's most been made and seconded. Any discussion? Would you poll the council?
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Done. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Mayor, on this, we'll get a letter drafted for you to sign and submit to Ted that indicates the nominations.
Okay.
So we'll try to we'll have to get that probably by the end of the week.
By the
Right.
15th, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, so let's go to new business. Item 1. Consideration possible action, approved contract renewal between the Tarrant County Emergency Services District Number 1 and the City of Everman for continued fire and emergency medical response services within unincorporated areas of Tarrant County as presented and attached, item 22012.
I'll make a motion. We approve item 22012 as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Craig,
There's no changes to this contract. This is the same annual contract that we have with the Emergency Services District for the same billing amounts and contract amounts.
any other discussion? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay, would you poll the council?
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Item 2, approve Tarrant County Emergency Services District and City of Everman Contract Amendment Number 1 for fiscal year 2021 as presented, item 22011.
I move we approve item 22011 as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded.
Clarify on this, I just want to make sure that council understands this is in reference to the past contract that actually expired on September 31st. This is a amendment extending that contract due to an ongoing grant process that we still have. The ESD and the city agreed as part of the grant process to purchase an ambulance or a refurb of an ambulance. That ambulance has not been delivered yet, therefore we cannot claim the reimbursement from that. So this amendment is extending that contract so we can claim that reimbursement once the ambulance is delivered.
Do we have an ETA on the ambulance? That's a no, okay.
How much was, how much is,
About 2 weeks ago, I gave final approval for paint, which I was actually happy that he asked if we had any preference, and I said, well, we got paint shops here in Everett, if you want to explore those, so professional ambulance or Southwest ambulance brought over here, but I approved that 2 weeks ago. We approved decals about a week and a half ago, so it should be.
Okay.
it's a used one?
So the chassis is one we currently have. The box, the patient compartment is a refurb one.
She asked how much as well.
75,000.
And what are we gonna do with the old one?
The old ones, we did it as trade as well to allow us that 2 years ago, we did the same process, but we ended up having done about 10,000, 12,000 out of pocket. I worked the numbers and found a way to make it exactly what our grant is, so we didn't have to pay anything up front.
Just to kind of give council an idea of the magic that has to be worked with that amount of money is a new ambulance cost at least $500,000.
Yeah.
Brand new. Yes.
Yep.
So
Any other discussion? Who signs off on this one? It didn't. Who signs
the contract,
yeah.
I believe it would be you, but let me look.
Okay. It didn't have my name on there, that's why I was asking. I didn't know. If it
Oh,
was-
it just says authorized. It would be you, Mayor.
Okay. All right. So any other discussion? Would you poll the council?
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Item 3, approved proposed Halloween festival to be held in Johnson Park on Saturday, October 30th from 6 PM to 9 PM and provide a variance for the duration of the event permitting the sale of food, drinks, crafts, and other merchandise as approved by the city staff. Item 22010.
And I'll make a motion. We approve item 22010.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? You got anything, Craig?
I just want to highlight, we've already got 14 registrations for this event already, and it seems to be pretty popular. None of those include the schools, so we're still anticipating a good amount of registrations from the school.
Poll council.
Place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Item 4, approve resolution 2021-10-01, a resolution of the city council of the city of Everman, Texas, assuming all responsibility for the upkeep and safety of military combat material donated by the United States Army Donations Program, item 22009.
I'll make a motion. We approve item 22009 as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
What is what is it worth? I mean, for its
We don't know what they're
insurance-wise.
donating yet.
Yeah, we won't know what they're donating. And once we have an item that's been offered to us by the Army, we're going to come back to council to request the acceptance of that.
Okay.
Once we know what that item is, we'll also know what the shipping cost will be, maintenance cost will be. So we'll have those figures if we have an item that comes up that's available for donation. But to be eligible, city
To
council
get
must
the
first adopt
donation,
this
we have to
resolution.
have this approved first.
Any other discussion? Poll the council.
Place one,
Aye.
place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Okay, item 5, approve the allocation of court technology funds for the upgrade of the court clerk computer and courtroom, item 22008.
And Mayor, before we get a motion on this, we need to discuss this because the motion needs to be worded specifically.
Okay.
On this, we discussed this last week during the work session about the $1,500 for the allocation of a court clerk computer. We talked about $24,000 being available in that court technology fund. And a couple council members asked if there was anything else that was needed, and we were able to come up with something. So if you see right here in front of Councilwoman Sellers, there's actually a small 11-inch TV, and you can pick that up and pass that around if you would like. The chambers here are utilized not only for city council, but frequently for the court as well. These 11-inch monitors run $700 a piece. When we do court, since the coronavirus has hit, we have been doing more and more virtual court. So we have a lot of Zoom hearings and things that are happening in here. And so after talking with the court clerk, she could certainly use these. These would be positioned at each one of your stations, which would make it available because where you sit is also where the jury sits anytime we have a jury trial. So we would be able to utilize these to share the video evidence with. They'd be able to see the testimony right in front of them from both the officers or the defendants when having court cases. It would also provide for a higher quality camera up top so that they can zoom in and actually communicate with the judge when we have these conversations instead of communicating like if it's just the judge sitting there now. So there are some upgrades. Altogether, it would be roughly $5,000 for the computer, all these monitors, installation, and the camera here in the court. So what we're recommending is the approval of $5,000 of core technology funds for those upgrades.
Okay.
Okay.
So what the mayor handed me is what I need to read.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That is correct.
All right. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay.
We're ready.
I move that we approve the allocation of $5,000 from the Court Technology Fund for the replacement and upgrade of the court clerk desktop computer, as well as courtroom technology upgrades to include high definition camera, monitors, and installation.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Poll the council.
Place one.
Aye.
Place two,
Aye.
place three,
Aye.
place four,
Aye.
place five.
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Okay, so now we can go up to discussion items, right? Okay. Go up to discussion items. Item 1, City of Everman and the City of Fort Worth Mutual Cooperation Certain Municipal Services Contract, item 22013.
And Mayor, on this item, pursuant to section 551.071 as well as 551.074, I'm going to recommend we go into executive session on this.
Okay, so you want to go into executive session?
I think it's best that we go into executive session. Our attorney is here present, Mr. Adam Hill. So I think it's best that we go into executive session on this.
Okay,
item.
so the time is 6:54. We're going to executive session.